Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I just finished watching the Errol Spence Jr. 27 wins, no losses, no draws, with 21 KOs. Stands at 5'10" with a 72-inch arm reach versus Yordenis Ugas. 27 wins, 4 losses, 12 KOs. Stands at 5'9" with a 69-inch arm reach. Championship fight press conference. Not a bad press conference. I will say I was pretty annoyed with some of the questions, they asked these fighters. With that being said, let's just hop right into it. They asked Errol Spence Jr. if he's going to stop Yordenis Ugas. I mean, that's just one of those questions that I feel like you should let the fighter say that himself. Let the fighter, speak on that, bring that up. I wouldn't ask that type of a question because, first of all, it's disrespectful to the opponent and it adds pressure to the fighter. And with Errol Spence coming off all of the adversity he's been through, with the car crash, surviving that, being thrown through the windshield during that car crash, and coming out with just some cuts, scrapes, and bruises, no broken bones, and then beating Sean Porter and Danny Garcia after that, and then now the detached retina he suffered during his training camp for Pacquiao, which got derailed, and which led to Yordenis Ugas getting that fight. You ask a guy like that type of question for what? He's already under a lot of pressure. And like I said, it's disrespectful to the opponent. Now, I didn't like the question. And as far as Errol Spence's response, I wasn't too fond of it, but I really didn't care either way because that was a question that shouldn't have been asked, in my opinion, with Errol not bringing that up himself. Now, his response was, he kind of laughed it off and blamed it on nutrition and having problems making weight these days for these fights. So I don't know. Didn't seem hungry in a sense, like the old Errol Spence. I don't know. What do you guys think? I just felt like maybe he should have just said, I'm not thinking about that right now. I'm just thinking about going in there and getting the job done and be, just moved on from that, because that question should not have been asked. Now, I do like one of the questions that was asked of Errol Spence, if Crawford is going to be next. So Errol's response was, if I pass this challenge, we'll see. We'll see what's next. But then he opens up his shirt, and on his shirt it says strap season. So to me, that references, yes, I'm going to go after that belt so I can become undisputed welterweight champion. That's what I think. What do you guys think? I just think, he doesn't want to count his chickens before they hatch. That's what it came off like to me, because he realizes this is going to be a tough fight, getting in the ring with Yordenis Ugas. He's not a pushover, like I said. Yordenis Ugas is a Cuban fighter. Cuban fighters are good all-around fighters, technically sound, defense and offense, and he has power in both hands. So this could be a challenge. I'm pretty sure Ugas is going to go after Errol Spence's injured eye. It only makes sense. I think he's going to go after that eye, and he could possibly get a stoppage. So even if he's not beating Errol Spence, he could stop Errol Spence because of that injured eye. And I think Errol realizes that, that this is not the usual fights he's been in. He's got other things that could stop him or hinder him from winning this fight. Besides, losing the fight, he's got that on top of it. Also, it seems like most of the questions were aimed towards Errol Spence. Not too many questions were, asked of Yordenis Ugas. There were a few, but obviously with Errol Spence being the main attraction, the superstar in boxing, a Dallas native, and you also had Jerry Jones in the building, who's the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. So all of the attention was specifically, basically on Errol Spence. So it seems like Ugas has a lot to prove still. Although he beat Manny Pacquiao, He beat an older version of Manny Pacquiao, and in my opinion, I don't think he could beat a prime Manny Pacquiao. Even a younger version, just a little younger version of the Manny Pacquiao he fought, I think he probably would have had problems with. That's just my opinion. That was supposed to be Errol Spence's fight, and like Errol mentioned in the press conference, that would have been his passing of the mantle, Pacquiao's passing of the mantle to Errol Spence Jr. Yordenis Ugas, he's been fighting since he was 6, as he mentioned in the press conference, but I still don't think he can beat Errol Spence. That's just my opinion. I'm thinking Errol Spence is gonna get the victory and possibly a stoppage. Although he doesn't want to say it, I think he can possibly get the stoppage. He's just a lot faster than Ugas. He's got the better reach, and he's the younger fighter. What is it? So I think Errol Spence is 31, actually going on 32 tomorrow, March 3rd. So happy birthday, champ. And Yordenis Ugas, I believe, is 36. So there's a 4-year difference there. That doesn't guarantee a win just because he's younger, especially with all that he's been through when in his career, with all the injuries he's had outside of boxing. And that's all I got for you guys right now. Stay tuned. I will be back with some more content. In the meantime, like, share, subscribe. Peace.